Welcome to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have an incredible guest here that I've been dying to interview for many months now. Someone with an incredible personal and professional dedication, but also such a heart. Arun, welcome to the PLA podcast.
Thank you, Dunia, for the warm introduction. I'm really glad to be here. When I think about my journey from being a hands on engineer to leading global cross functional teams, the word that comes to my mind is evolution. Not just a technology, but how I've grown as a person.
Mm.
Over the year, I've realized that leadership isn't about having all the answers, it's about creating the right environment for people to discover their own. So, empathy and integrity have been my compass.
Mm.
They've guided me through every project, every rough decisions, and every conversation with my team. So I'm also deeply passionate about how AI is reshaping our world. To me, it's about replacing. It's not about replacing people, but it's about amplifying what humans do best: creativity, judgment, and connection.
Mm.
And outside my work, my family keeps me grounded. My wife's entrepreneurial drive and my kids' curiosity reminds me why this balance between innovation and humanity matters so much. So I'm excited to have this conversation, share some stories, lessons learned, and hopefully spark ideas for anyone out there trying to grow as a leader.
Incredible. Someone would think listening to you, like Arun must have his own PLA podcast. We needed an Arun channel on the PLA podcast. That was phenomenal and so poetically put together, really. I want to take just a moment, though. I want to formally introduce you to our audience that hasn't had the privilege, like we have in the PLA community and myself, to know you on a much deeper level. So I just want to run through your story a little bit. So here is Arun Gaikwad. Joining us from Chicago is a software engineer manager with over 20 plus years of experience leading technology teams across the globe. Began his journey in India with humble beginnings as a developer, rising through curiosity, resilience, and determination to lead global cross-functional teams. Currently manages cloud migrations, custom software development, and AI-driven innovation, blending technological depth and human-centered leadership. Known for his empathy, mentorship, and integrity, he believes leadership isn't just about results. It's about lifting others and cultivating growth. Passionate about developing people, nurturing innovation, and building a culture of accountability outside of work. He finds balance through art and family life, sketching, painting, and supporting his wife's food business. Deeply committed to his children's education and values, guiding them to grow not just academically, but as grounded, compassionate individuals, a lifelong learner who bridges people, technology, and values, and whose story embodies growth, humility, and purpose. Welcome to the PLA podcast, Arun. So lovely to have you on here.
Thanks, Dania. Same here. I'm really excited to be on podcast.
Oh, it's amazing. I would love for you to run us all the way back to where it originally started. I want you to take us back to the very, very beginning of your career and how that journey and story began.
Sure, Dunia. That's such a thoughtful question. And honestly, I will answer it with a lot of empathy because everything I wish I knew back then,
Mm.
I've learned the hard way over time.
Yeah.
So if I could go back to my early career, as you already said, that I come from a humble background from India, I would tell myself one simple truth. Your journey is a marathon, not a sprint. So when I started, I was driven by this need to prove myself, mastering every tool, every framework, working longer hours than everyone else. And while that gave me a technical strength, it also gave me tunnel vision. I was focused on output, not growth. I remember my first major project vividly. Long nights, tight deadlines, and a desire to get it perfect. The project succeeded, but I burned myself out.
Mm.
Worst, I realized I haven't empowered my team to grow. That was my first big leadership lesson. Doing everything yourself limits everyone's growth, including your own.
Mm.
Over time,
So good.
I learned that empathy and integrity matter more than being the smartest person in the room. They help you build trust. They turn colleagues into allies. And when things go wrong, and they always do, those values are what keep your team together.
Wow.
If I could talk to my younger self, I would say, don't rush to climb. Focus
Mm,
on learning how to lead, listen deeply, build relationships, ask questions, learn how to bring people with you.
mm,
Careers are built one conversation, one collaboration, one act of consistency at a time.
mm.
That's what I wish I knew, and it's still something I remind myself every day.
Incredible. Wow. So good, Arun. Wow. I'm like, you need your own like this is amazing. It's incredible. And I love that piece, that lesson, because it's a tough one for a lot of leaders
Yeah.
of really encouraging others to grow around us. So many of us are overly focused on us, not giving space to those around us and our teams to grow and giving them the opportunities to fail, to learn, to adapt, etc. It's a very, very powerful point that you've brought up.
Yes. And that's what I believe in. Empowering people. You don't have to handhold anyone. Just empower people. They will learn on their own and they will grow. If you just handhold them, they will learn nothing. And it's just you being everywhere. That's not gonna work at all. So as a leader, I believe in empathy as well as integrity and making sure you empower people for them to grow, not just stop them growing from don't stop them growing.
Yes, I love this. And where I can see that parallel is in parenting. That powerful as a father, giving your children the opportunity to grow, to fall, to scrape their knees, to get back up, to cry and say, "Hey,
Yes.
you're going to try again." And so actually it actually brings me to a question that we haven't yet talked about.
Mhm.
Um and I am curious because I don't know, I don't think I've asked this question on the PLA podcast before. How has been your journey of building an incredible relationship to your children at home while building a very demanding career? I'm fascinated and very, very curious.
Sure. That's a good question, and it is close to my heart in a way. I have three children. So my elder one is in high school. The second one is in both of them are in the elementary schools. I try to spend time with them whenever they are at home.
Mm,
I ask them important questions. I don't ask them how was your day. The answer is always, oh, my day was good. How was school? Oh, it's good. I try to ask them questions that will make them think more and
wow.
make them think as the human being. I don't ask how was your day. I ask what did you do today to help others.
Mm,
Was there anything that you learned today? What is one thing that you learned that will help you in your growth?
so
What how did you help other? Did you help other and how exactly you helped other?
good. Mm,
How was your interaction at the lunch session or lunchtime? Did you know any person? And that kind of makes them curious about knowing other people. So my daughter,
mm,
for example, she goes to the school in the lunchtime. She tries to make more friends, try to understand them as a person, understand their culture, understand their hobbies, and she writes it in the book. That makes her a good human being, good person, and that grows the empathy, the integrity, and the curiousness in her. So that's how I try to cultivate that culture in my kids so that they grow as a human being, as a nice person.
mm. Beautiful. Arun, what I love about this question is it's actually so helpful no matter what context we're talking about. Because so many of us are actually making the same mistake at work. We're thinking, how is the project? How's it going? Instead of asking those deeper questions of saying, what part of this project is going XYZ? Where are we looking for? What is a solution we haven't yet found? And I love this beautiful parallel that has so much heart and intention to it when it comes to our children at home, like asking them, what was the experience at lunchtime? Who did you help today? How did you help? What did you learn? And getting them to converse on a deeper level. First of all, we're bringing their level of awareness up, their
Yes.
level of, in some ways, participation and co-creation in every environment that they're in, and makes them a proactive participant of their life and reality, which is so helpful at the office and in our projects.
Yes,
This is
I
brilliant.
agree.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, as a leader, you need to ask questions.
Mm.
You don't need to have answers, but when you ask powerful questions, you get people to start liking you, start listening to you, because you are invoking that inner self and remove that fear from people's mind, and they start contributing out of their own. They see there is a growth, they see there is empathy, they see that they are being included in the decision, and that's where the people or team person grows. Skills, technical skills, everyone will get it, but only thing that will leave you is you as a person, how exactly you're growing as a person, what is your character is about. That is what I'm trying to embed into my team, and that's how I lead my team.
It brings something up that I can't get out of my head, where trust in teams, trust at home is earned.
Yes.
And it's that piece where it's like, what are we doing to invest in these relationships to earn their trust? And I love what you're bringing up, like the power of questions. And it's quite simple, really. We overcomplicate this concept of trust and building these relationships to now simplifying it to simply asking deeper questions, more specific questions, more intentional questions, more curious questions. And I think that if people allowed themselves to ask better questions, we'd live in a different world.
Yes, I agree, completely agree.
Arun, I'm curious. We're talking about all these beautiful things, and things are amazing, and all these relationships, and it gets my heart just so happy. I also want to know, what were the greatest challenges of your career? Like there's a lot of curiosity there, because we oftentimes paint this beautiful picture of like things are great, things are amazing, and every single person has done this mistake, really, because we're in a world riddled with marketing, riddled with presenting ourselves in a particular light. I'd love to get the real, raw, honest truth. What have been the greatest challenges of your career?
I love this question. One, because challenges, not achievements, are what shapes you. I've
Mm.
had moments that tested everything I thought I knew about leadership. So, one challenge I'll never forget was leading a global transformation project.
Mm.
Multiple teams, countries, conflicting goals,
Wow.
everything that could go wrong did. I started by trying to control it all, manage
Mm.
every detail, fix every issue myself. It didn't work. The more I tried to hold on things together, the more stressed everyone became. And that's when I realized leadership isn't about control, it's about clarity.
Oof.
With that
Leadership
lesson,
is
I
not about
shifted.
control. It's about clarity. I had to repeat that. Leadership is not about control. It's about clarity. Everyone listening to the podcast, I hope you're writing this down. Go
Thanks,
on,
Danielle.
Arun. I didn't want to cut you off. That quote was so powerful.
Yes, and I follow that quote as well, that it's not about control, it's about the clarity. So, continuing, so I shifted. I started listening more, speaking less. So, I held smaller things, focused on removing roadblocks instead of assigning blames. That change in mindset from managing tasks to empowering people completely transform how my team responded.
Mm.
They feel more powerful, empowered. Did not feel fear to come up and talk. That experience taught me something profound.
Mm.
Growth hides inside discomfort.
Oof.
When things feel chaotic, that's when you are being stretched into a better version of yourself. Over the years, I've faced other challenges like layoffs,
Mhm.
project scope changes, projects that demanded impossible timelines. But every time I've tried to lead with empathy. Because when you show people you care about them, not just the work, they'll rise to the challenge with you.
Incredible.
Now, I don't see challenges as setbacks. I
Mm.
see them as turning points. So each one made me a little calmer, a little wiser, and a lot more human. And
Mm.
that, for me, is a real growth story.
Wow, this is so good. Like, this is a phenomenal episode. I'm blown away right now. Arun, you know what? And this is powerful because so many of us have been in these situations where they're like storms. And it's just like I cannot see the other side of this. And I am brutally frustrated. But I think you bring a point that's really important and a reminder to everyone that the more you allow yourself to go through these and grow through these storms, the more
Yes,
you start to realize, wait a minute, there's value to them. The more you recognize the value, the more you soften through it and don't resist the storm as much as you used to. So
right.
there, and it's not easy. Let's take a moment. This is not easy. And there's an invitation that it's a skill that can be practiced with time. Wow.
Yes, I completely agree. And this is not something easy to learn. You have to let go not many things. Your ego is the first thing. As a leader, you grow into ego. So you need to keep your ego aside and make sure work with your team, make them empowered, make them feel at comfort. They any junior developer should also be able to come and talk to you about any concerns. Give that empowerment to them so that they feel energetic, they feel empowered, they feel included in your project, and treat that person the way that you want to be treated. And that's how you grow team. That's how you build confidence in your team. And then the team will take care of the problems. You don't have to work onto the problems. That's what I learned in my career.
I love this of that piece where if no question is negated or judged, it creates a lot more safety and trust to be able to bring those concerns. And what I like is you actually bring up another point that you hadn't mentioned earlier that you just dropped as a really good insight is all of a sudden, then you have a team that is independent, but also like to take initiative because they feel safe enough to do so.
Yes.
And like that's huge. Like we talk safety of conversation is big, being committed to the team is big, loyalty is big, but when you create so much safety that your team now takes initiative and is able to make decisions, feeling courageous because they know that their failures are just opportunities to grow and they're invited to step into those opportunities. Wow, now we've built a completely different team.
Yes, I completely agree. And that's my aim is. Every team I work with, I make sure that they feel comfortable, they feel listened, they feel included, they feel empowered. And I don't have to do heavy lifting. They will do it on their own.
It's beautiful.
It's accountability that I need to embed into them and remove that fear factor from them. And that's when my team grows and you as a leader grow.
Wow. I not to bring a little bit of a grim topic in, but I do want to touch on you lived something quite intense. You've lived so much, really. And I'd love to just ask you a little bit about your accident and how it created this turning point in your life. Really.
I'm really glad that you brought this up. It happened in May 2013, 2012, I'm sorry. And it happened in California.
Mm.
That accident it was a major accident. It involved four deaths, one critical person, that was me, and two other people who were badly injured, not
Wow.
just physically, but mentally as well. So that
Mm.
scar left them not able to perform for longer duration. When I remind myself about that particular accident, it's not just me who changed. It's
Mm.
my family which got impacted, and they also changed. It was a long journey for me to recoup or recover from that particular accident.
Wow.
Before that, it was a different Arun. Arun who would work day and night. Arun who would stretch himself 16 hours, 18 hours to work for the team, work, as I earlier said, try to do everything myself.
Wow.
After the accident, I understood that you can be replaced. The project that you worked on, the company that you're working for, you can be replaced. Somebody else can come and take your place. But in life, in your family, they can't replace you. So that accident taught me that the importance of family, and
Mm.
that changed a lot. After that, I became more calmer, more focused,
Wow.
and more concentrated on family first
Mm.
than the work. So yes, that changed a lot. I would go on for an hour, but I
Mm.
just want to leave with one lesson that I learned is at work you can be replaced, but
Mm.
in life for family you cannot be replaced. So choose your priority. Family is your priority. Work will happen. Work will come and go. Project will come and go. Teams will come and go. Companies will come and go.
Yeah.
You yourself priority is your family.
Mm. Oh, and I love this story. You know, the visual or the thought that comes to mind when you share this is you were given a new life in that moment. You know, and I think this is what makes you a phenomenal leader, really. It's the awareness of what's truly important in life. And so, too many of us have to wait for an experience like this to happen to have this realization. And so, you blessing us with this experience of sharing it and saying, don't wait for the accident to happen, have this
Yes.
realization now is so, so powerful. Really, like this could change and shift a lot of people's perspective as they're watching this recording.
Yes. You need to take care of yourself. Your health is more important. Your family is important.
Yeah.
So make sure that you are taking care of you first for your family, for yourself.
And I would challenge people actually. I think that when you start to prioritize things in the right order, you actually become a better worker, a better contributor, a better leader at work more than ever. You think clearly, you think creatively, you think from an aligned place, and you're able to differentiate what's truly important, even in a project, because you're able to do that in your life.
Yes. I can't agree more, Dunia.
Oh, Arun, seriously, what a treat to have you on. I'm blown away. Also wanted to bring up, you know, the tremendous loss that you had of your father during the pandemic and being unable to travel to India. I know so many people can relate to having lost parents during this extremely difficult time and not being able to spend those quality last moments with them. You know, I'd love to get your perspective or insight, or if you have anything that you'd like to share with people who have been through similar experiences that are hoping that someone else understands.
Thanks, Dunia. It was a terrible part of my life. The only thing normally I don't regret because the decisions that makes you. But this is the one thing that I regret in my life, which is my father who passed away in 2020, September 2020. And
Mm.
that point of time I was here. And I had to take that with a lot of like a rock on my heart. Like my father died and I could not travel back. I
Mm.
could not travel back to do his last rites. And it devastated me as a only son.
Mm.
And I don't have mother. My mother died when I was 6 years old. My grandmother who brought me up,
Mm.
she died when I was there when she died. But and then my father was alone at home, and no one was there to take care of him except occasional visit from the doctors.
Mm.
And it broke me. It broke me completely. I was like so devastated.
Mm.
I still remember crying
Mm.
on my wife's shoulder that being a single only son, I could not go do my last rites. And
Mm.
with COVID, it was impossible to go from
Mm.
US to India at all. My cousin brothers did it, my in-laws who helped in last rites.
Mm.
And I watched it on the WhatsApp video call. That was the only that was the only regret in my life. And that I just want to I got a lesson from this that life is unpredictable.
Yeah.
Anything life will throw at you anything
Mm.
anytime unpredicted. Nothing goes as planned.
Yeah.
Whatever plan that you make, it is going to get disrupted
Mm.
because
Yeah.
Almighty has different plans for you.
Yeah.
So be prepared for your life, expect the unexpected. Change is the only constant. That's
Mm.
what I truly believe in. And that's the one thing that I just want to leave you by. Change is the only thing. Accept the changes and
Mm.
work around it.
There's something so powerful that I'm having as a realization listening to you. You know, even us that live with such intention and choose to accept the journey and accept our past and accept as much as we can out of it and try to live with no regrets. Even these types of people, okay, that we I would hope to strive for, truly. It happens to even have those regrets. And to give ourselves grace that there are going to be times that are completely out of our control, and it's okay to live with that heartbreak. It is part of the journey. It is, being human and allowing ourselves that there are times that are out of our control and that we will live with some regret in this lifetime. Because it's so fascinating. I love that I'm having this realization on the podcast right now. For so long I thought, wow, why live with regret? Like, regret is such a waste. And I had such a distant relationship to regret, almost like an acknowledging of it. And then through this conversation today, I want to thank you for gifting me this insight of saying, even with such intention, there may be times in this life where you do live with regret. And that is okay. It is part of the journey.
Yes.
Wow. I'm like, this conversation is, wow. The depth is blowing me away. Um, and part of me is like, I wish there was a different transition to this question, but I do want to get to it. We're talking about so much of what we've been through, and the
Mhm.
really deep connections and the relationships to these things. We are facing this massive change, a disruption to the world, and it can be a disruption in the best way possible, but can also challenge us with the age of AI. And so I'd love
Mhm.
to get your perspective on AI, especially someone who has such a deep understanding of life and relationships. I'd just love to get your take on it. How do you see it? How has it impacted your life, and how, get your perspective?
Sure. I'm really glad that you brought this up. This is very close to my heart, this particular subject. Apart from all the air bubble around us and all the fear in the air, I have a different perspective.
Mm.
AI is not just transforming the technology, it's redefining the leadership. And as someone who's seen team adapt to it, I've realized it's as much about people as it's about data.
Mm.
AI is one of the most fascinating revolution of our time. What excites me most is how it's evolving from a tool into a teammate. Think
Mm.
about it. AI co-pilots helping developers to code smarter, predictive systems, improving the decision making, or agentic AI managing workflows on its own. We are not just talking of automation here anymore. We are talking augmentation.
Mm.
But I also want to believe the Spider-Man quote: "Power must come with responsibility."
Yeah.
AI can amplify biases just
Mm.
as easily as it can amplify productivity.
Oof.
That's why we need strong governance,
Mm.
transparency, and accountability built in from day one.
Wow.
In one of my recent projects, we used AI to accelerate testing and data validation.
Mm.
The results were incredible: faster cycles, higher quality, good throughput. But the real win was human. The
Mm.
team had more time to innovate, collaborate, and think creatively. AI did not replace their work, it elevated it. And
Mm.
that is what I want to believe in, and that is what I project. And that's how I view AI as a
Wow.
force multiplier for human intelligence. I'm
Yeah.
repeating again, as a force multiplier for human intelligence.
Mm.
But it only works if we lead responsibly.
Yeah.
The future isn't about AI versus humans, it's about AI with humans.
Mm.
And as a leaders, Our role is to create trust, not fear, to help team see that AI isn't taking their jobs, it's taking away the boring part of their jobs. If we get that right, AI will become the most human technology we have ever built.
Mm, I
I'll leave it.
love that twist. I love that twist. Wow. When we allow ourselves to realize that AI will take away the boring parts of our jobs, AI will become the most human technology to have ever existed.
Yes.
Wow, that was good. Oh, okay, Arun. This brings me back to my last but favorite question on the PLA podcast. What legacy and impact are you still so excited to leave behind in this world?
I really like ending on this note because when I think about the future, I don't just think about trends or technology. I think about alignment between what I do, who am I, and who I am becoming. Professionally, I genuinely excited about where AI and human collaboration are heading. We are at a point where technology is evolving faster than ever, and leadership has to evolve with it. I see a future where organizations don't just automate tasks, they elevate people, where AI helps team make smarter, fairer decisions, and leaders use that intelligence to drive trust and inclusion. That's the future I want to help build. One where technology serves humanity, not the other way.
Mm.
On a personal level, my excitement comes from my family. My wife is building her food business. Watching her create something from scratch reminds me that entrepreneurship is raw courage in action. And my kids, they're a constant reminder of why patience and curiosity matter. Seeing them learn, fail, and try again inspires me to do the same. For me, future isn't about achieving more. It's about becoming better. A better leader, a better father, a better human. So what excites me most about the future is that it's chance to connect purpose with progress,
Wow.
to keep growing, learning, and building a world where innovation and integrity go hand in hand. And that's what keeps me energized every single day.
Oh, that was amazing, Arun. I wanted to close the recording right then and there. It was such a little mic drop moment. I do have to ask, as we are on the PLA podcast, what has been
Mhm.
your biggest insight of PLAs thus far?
PLA, Personal Leadership Academy, has been a cornerstone, I would say, for a turning point for me. It's been over a year that I've joined PLA, and I'm a 2.0, 2.3, 2.5, whatever that number is, around 2.5, I would say. It not just only helped me from my focusing on my career, but it also helped me grow as a person in the spirituality, in making sure that I take it slow, make sure it's a marathon, realizing it's a marathon, not a sprint. Focusing more on learning, focusing more on acquiring things, focusing more on action. How exactly you become a leader. That's what I learned from PLA. How you keep yourself calm, focused, how you make yourself visible in outer world. That visibility part, the leadership part, the communication. The communication has been phenomenal. The way that I'm talking to you had never been possible without PLA at all. I would have been fumbling. I would have been saying ums and ahs a lot. I would not have clear thoughts at all when I'm talking to you right now. So it has improved me as a person in all different directions at the same time. And I'm thankful to PLA for all this growth. And I'm in debt, in debt with PLA for that all here. And thank you, Dunya, for your amazing help during my journey here.
Oh,
So I
such
appreciate it.
a pleasure. Truly such a pleasure. Arun, I need to put, I need to stay concentrated. This has been so good. I'm going to put the QR code. If anyone is curious about PLA, this is a QR code that will get you to the next free training. You will get so much value by just attending the free training. It's unbelievable. I've been multiple times. So many people in our community have been so many times. And even just attending the free training, I know you will be blown away. So if you are curious and just want the information to it, here it is. And Arun, what an absolute treat to have you today, and truly looking forward to getting to interview you once again on the PLA podcast. Thank you for your time, your wisdom, your stories. It was such a gift to interview you today.
Thank you, Dunia. This has been such a meaningful conversation. I really enjoyed reflecting my journey today. And there is one takeaway I would like to leave with you, your listener. It's this. Your career will evolve in ways you can't always plan. But your values will always be your anchor. Lead with empathy, stay curious, keep learning, not just about technology, but about people. Because no matter how advanced our tool becomes, it's human connection that drives progress. I've been fortunate to work with incredible teams across the world. And what I've learned is that leadership is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about showing up consistently, especially when things are uncertain.
Yeah.
On a personal note, I feel grateful for the mentors who guided me, for my family who keeps me grounded, and for the opportunity to keep learning every single day. So everyone listening, wherever you are in your journey, stay authentic, stay resilient, keep growing. The best chapter of your story is still ahead. Thank you again for having me, Dunia. This was truly a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, a treat, an absolute treat. Oh, I'm so excited and I can't wait for everyone. If anyone's curious, and please reach out to Arun on LinkedIn and ask him more about his journey and the incredible insights that he shared today. And we will catch you all on the next PLA podcast episode. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and enjoy.
Thank you, Dunia. Have a nice day.